What's up, everybody? How you doing? Jimmy McNally here with Century 21 Beggins, and today we're going to discuss Moxie Engage, what it is, how to get around on it, and some best practices for you to use with within Moxie Engage as you're getting started. So first things first, let's talk a little bit about what Moxie Engage actually is. So Moxie Engage is Moxie's CRM, so Customer Relationship Manager, that's built specifically for real estate agents and encouraging long-term lead nurturing. Now, overview-wise, as we look a little bit here, so these are some of the things with Moxie Engage. So it did replace Zap and Business Builder for Century 21. It is your CRM. This is where you're going to set up campaigns, searches for buyers and sellers, neighborhood news, which is a monthly newsletter that you want to auto just listed, just sold, marketing that can get sent out, the ability to track your pipeline and also follow up. And then on top of that, giving you the specific timeframes that you should. So if you use MoxieWorks, specifically Moxie Engage, Moxie is saying about a 52% more business from doing this. And then this is my take on why you should be using Moxie anyways. It gives you a consistent branded material for you as an agent, and you look fantastic to the people that you already know. So if you're using Moxie Engage, you're going to see that it's a very consistent message that's going out. And it's honestly what I like down here. Get the time back. When you learn to use the system and you set it up correctly, you're going to have more time to do the things that you do best, which is talking to people. Now, let's just go ahead and get into it and show you kind of an overview of Moxie Engage, how to get around on it, how to find people, even how to add somebody. Now, some of the takeaways that I would specifically say to do from this, so I'm going to talk specifically here down these items. You want to make sure you upload your contacts and clean them up. It's very, very important. To do that, I'm going to actually tell you a couple things that you can do today to kind of help with that standpoint. Also, you want to make sure that you can put your contacts on holiday campaigns, neighborhood news, faves and saves, that kind of stuff. Let's get some of these things set up so they automatically go out so you can stay top of mind in front of the people that you already know, which is fantastic. And then one of the last things I'm going to want you to do is definitely when you get in and start playing with Moxie Engage, go ahead and add yourself to it. Add a personal email account and a personal account so you can see what it looks like on a consumer-facing standpoint. Get comfortable using the system the way it needs to be used, and that way you're not showing up kind of funky or anything like that with your specific people that you're doing. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, to get into Moxie Engage, you're going to go into 21 Online Productivity Hub, scroll down until you find one of the Moxie modules. Click on it, boom, you're going to be in the My Account page there. So with Moxie, also, you're going to notice that everything is up here on the top. So once I log in one time, I'm able to easily move through my website, Moxie Present, Engage, Impress, Promote, and Directory. Now, one of the things with Moxie Engage, this is kind of like the brains behind everything. Now, we know it does sync up with either Office 365 or Google, like your Google Workspace, so like Gmail, Calendar, things like that. That actually syncs completely up with Moxie Engage and just Moxie in general. So any contact that you already have in your Gmail account that you are syncing with Moxie Engage will come over as a client in Moxie Engage. So just be aware that that's going to happen when the first time that you sync your email in there. And there's nothing wrong with having all of your contacts in your CRM. Actually, I advise it because I think it's very important to stay in top of mind and in front of everybody that you know, hands down. Now, also, Moxie Engage to me is kind of the brains behind everything too. So Moxie Engage will allow you to, when you put a contact in there, when I send a presentation to them through Moxie Present, it actually will track the activity and let me know that I sent it if they've opened it. If I set up a search for somebody in Moxie Engage, it actually is going to my website and it's setting up there, and that's actually setting up a search on my website for my potential clients to be looking on there and getting active people on my website. Moxie Impress, there's another option there where I can make there's auto-generated projects and marketing material already, but I can make my own stuff and then I can send it to the contacts that I have in my groups that I have set up in Moxie and Moxie Engage. So to me, Moxie Engage is probably the brains behind everything, but it does allow you to, again, give you a little bit more time on your hands if you follow through and use Moxie the way it's supposed to. So let's go through what we have here. What you're going to notice on yours is you're going to have this thing on the top here. You have dashboard, which is what you log into when you click Moxie Engage. People, where you can have an overview, my people. This is also where I can easily add somebody into Moxie Engage. I can do it very quickly right here. Calendar is just that. It's your calendar. It syncs with Gmail. So you actually can set some things up, which I'll show you here in this training, how you can tie some of those tasks and things that you need to do to remind you on your Google Calendar too. So it kind of syncs up with that so you can keep it together. Goals, one of the first things you're going to have to do when you log in is first just put in your Gmail or O365, whatever mail you're actually using for that, whatever program that is. In this case for us, it's Google. So when you put in that, when you say you're going to be using that workspace, it's going to actually migrate together and get going. But the next thing is your goals. What is your GCI goal for the year? Are you doing what you did last year? Are you doing this year? Now, one of the things I'll tell you with Moxie Engage is if you're using the system correctly and you're moving people through the pipeline, you can truly see what your pipeline is worth. Like not just the stuff that's pending, not just the stuff that's closed, but if you use the system correctly, there's a way that you can say, this is what my pipeline is worth. And there's not too many systems out there that can help you with that. And then finally, you got campaigns. This is where you have to get your campaigns up and going and started. This is where eBlast, this is where you can check. And when I wait for the third training on this to really dig into the campaign side. The other things you do have up here is a easy find people section where I can easily type in a client's name or a person's name, and it will actually pop up so I can go directly to their profile. That's where I would be doing searches, neighborhood news, activities, updating leads, things like that. I also have an option here to easily email. So I can easily shoot an email to a client after I start typing in their name. You'll see that they pop up. It's the same way with Moxie Present when I'm trying to send a presentation. So I can keep that all together. And then finally, there is a little settings cog here. This is where you can actually look at some of the settings, which I'll get to towards the end of today that I would recommend for you and in the next training around sales flow. So let's talk about this dashboard. So how should you be using Moxie Engage? Well, the dashboard to me is probably one of the most important things. If you're using the system correctly, coming in here every day to see kind of what your tasks are, who you need to follow up with, what's going on with your book of business, you can easily get through it and then move on with your day. And your dashboard can allow you to do a lot of these things very, very quickly. Now, one thing you'll notice here on the right is there's 7 different options that are on this dashboard. I have sales flow, to-do list, activity feeds, stay in the flow, calendar, my listings, and goals. At any point, what's important to you may be different for me. You can actually maneuver these around and move them where you want. So I can put my calendar first. It's the first thing that I see here. I could put my to-do list, which could be one of the first things to do. So let's go over a couple of these real quick after you've made the adjustments of where you want. One, if you're into making a to-do list, this is fantastic. You can come in here each day, do your 5-6 things that you need to make sure that you want to do, easily add a task so you can check it off and make sure you're following up. But really, the main thing to me around the to-do list is actually the transaction tasks, because the transaction tasks, which I'll get more into when I talk about the sales flow, these are the tasks that you need to do when they're in your pipeline to make sure that you're following up. So if I'm using this every day and I have everybody set up correctly in the system, this will tell me who I need to follow up with today and what I need to do. Do I need to give them a call? Do I need to reach out on social media? Do I need to set them up on neighborhood news? Should I follow up with this? Should I follow up 90 days afterwards, after I had a close to see how everything's going? There's so many different tasks that are actually set up for you already, but this is something that can be completely customizable to you as an agent, which is why I'm not going to talk about it yet. Next thing is your calendar. So you can see if there's any events that you have scheduled for today. This will be events that are tied to your Google Calendar. These are events that, or tasks that need to be done. I could set an appointment for a buyer. This could populate in here too. Next up is your sales flow. Again, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in the next meeting, but I think this is very important because this is the people that are going to be doing business with you. So it's very important to know who those people are. Activity feed is fantastic because this will actually show me who I've sent emails to. Neighborhood news. How many? I sent 301 campaigns the other day. If anybody, it actually shows you if they viewed it or not. So this is actually a kind of like a little stalker-ish, but this will tell me what kind of activity is happening with the people that are in my CRM. Stay in the flow is a random up to 5 people that you have not contacted, not done anything with. And you can hit this little settings cog and say, you know what, I just want anybody that I have not talked to in the last 60 days to pop up here. Random will take 5 people. These are 5 people that are just, you have not reached out to, or at least told the system that you've reached out to them, and you're good to go. And my listings is exactly what that is. Anything that's listing, pending, and sold will actually show up here for you so you can see what's going on. And then you have your goals. So this shows me at 18% of the goal that I have for this year. Where I spend the majority of my time, though, is probably here and then my people. So the dashboard is the most important place once you've gotten everybody set up. But to get everybody set up, let's get into my people. And there's going to be some specific takeaways that I'd want you to do here. When I get into my people, the first thing you can do here is add. I would go ahead right now, pause this video, and add yourself with a personal email address so you can start playing around with the system, set yourself up on campaigns, searches, neighborhood news, all that stuff that you have going in here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So when we go to actually add somebody, there's two options. I can import contacts, or I can do a single contact. Single contact is just that. I can go in first name, last name. I can change a label to set it up so it says Mr. and Mrs. So such and such, phone numbers, multiple email addresses. I can even put specific dates like birthdays, anniversaries, house anniversaries. Like these are super important. And especially if I'm tying my calendars together, I'd love to be on my phone. I pull up my Google Calendar. It says, oh, guess what? It's Jimmy's birthday today. So I would go in and make sure, and I'm going to show you how to turn some settings on that. We'll kind of discuss that a little bit more. You can add relationships. So who's what? Brother, child, domestic partner, manager, mother, parent. You can add all these things directly to this. So it gives you the story of this person that you're putting into the system. Once you're done, you want to go ahead and click done. Now, I'm not going to add anybody at this point, but once you're done, you're going to go back to, you actually will open up that person's page. I'm going to use this one as an example. So when you come in here, you'll see that I have added one person already to this system. Now, what I'm going to do is I believe I made this one a personal contact. So I'm going to uncheck this so they actually can be moved into the sales flow. Now, I'm not going to go super crazy in here, but this is what it will look like after you put somebody in here. Are they a client or are they not? Okay. And again, I'm going to talk about the sales flow next, but a client is someone that you are doing business or could possibly do business with. A non-client is someone that you will not. So for instance, a client could be a past buyer, past seller, someone you met at a gas station or at an open house. They've decided that you're ready to do business, but you still want to market to them and you still want to follow up. If I make them a client, they put them in the sales flow, and the sales flow has tasks that I need to do for each one of these people to make sure that I'm following up with them. So if it's someone that you want to follow up with, make them a client. If it's someone that is a collaborator, like another real estate agent, a vendor, a lender, anything like that, you may put them in non-client. You can still set them up on campaigns, but it will not remind you to follow up with those people. So the first thing you want to do is identify if they're a client or not, okay? Now, I'm going to go back to the people, my people screen one more time. And the other way you can actually add is if you click add here, I have import contacts. So if I have a ton of contacts that are already set up in another system that I want to be able to upload it here, I can click import contacts, and this will actually tell me that I can upload a CSV file to the to Moxie. Now, don't just upload any CSV or Excel spreadsheet. What you need to do is click this where it says this example CSV, download it, and copy and paste and use this one here to upload into Moxie, and you're going to have the least amount of resistance. Okay, so make sure that you do that. Now, on this screen, there's a lot of different things that you can do. You know, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we discuss today is, well, there's a few things in here. One, as you are putting your people in here, I highly recommend to make sure that you put them into groups. Okay, so when I click on filters up here, you can see that I have all these different groups that are set up. I can I can search by who's on campaigns, and I can actually search by lead source. So if you're getting leads from your brokerage, this will show you which leads those are. If you don't have any of these, it's fine. But what I recommend is if you have them in groups, it allows you to do some things in bulk and more efficiently when you do that. Okay. To make a group, all you're going to do is click here on edit groups right now. And then let's go ahead and create a group, hit enter and hit save. Once it's saved, your groups will actually start populating in there. Now, the cool thing is to add somebody to a group. All I have to do is I can either click on them. If I'm in their profile card here, I can scroll down here to where it says add to groups, click on the group, and then boom, I can say, you know, this person is going to be, I'm going to put her in a test group just for now. Okay. So once that's done, you will hit done. Now you can see here that they are actually already in a group. The other way you can do in group, which you can do in bulk from the people, my people page, is I can easily select here on the left as many or as little or as many as I want. Then I can easily click here where it says add to, click add. Now that I've made groups, I can click groups, and then you'll see the groups that I want, and I can add to multiple groups. Boom, boom, boom. They're done, ready to go. Now let's talk. I'm not going to get into campaigns crazy, but let's talk about these groups. If I add a group to a, let's say, past seller group, and there's a campaign that's running for that past seller group, let's say Life at Home newsletter for buyers or sellers. Let's say you have, or a holiday campaign. Whenever I add somebody into the new group, they will automatically be put on that campaign that's running. So talk about saving time. All I got to do is set up a campaign and have it started. And if I add them to a group, it automatically adds it and keeps moving. So again, let's be more efficient and save you some time. Let's talk about a few other things in here. So right now you can export everything if you want. You can also remove people. So I can easily remove somebody from Moxie Engage either by clicking everybody at one time that I don't want in there, or I can individually click on the box and hit remove, or go to their contact card and remove. Now this is the thing, if I remove them from Engage, they do not get removed from my Google contacts. They just get removed from here. They won't be subscribed to anything. They won't get any campaigns, any searches, or anything like that. So if I go in here and I click remove, it's going to say, do you want to remove them? And then it's going to say, decide what it is. Now I am not going to do that. But this is also the other thing. If you accidentally remove someone, you can easily, as long as you're in the people and my people screen, click this little settings cog here and go to manage removed, and you will see everybody that you've taken out. Okay. You can bring them back in pretty easily, which is kind of cool. If you want them completely out of the system altogether, if you take them out of Google, it will actually come all the way through and take them out of this. So far we've pretty much given a pretty quick overview on Moxie Engage, how to get around on it, how to add people, how to add yourself, right? So those are two things that I want you to do. One of the other things I said is you want to make sure you want to clean it up. So take the time to go through and decide who needs to be what, who needs to be in a group, make your groups, who should truly be in your CRM and who shouldn't be, okay? Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to show you an easier way how you can actually go through and identify if somebody is a client or could possibly be a client or not. And this would probably be one of the other things I would say from this video that I would take away. If you have, so in this case, I have 594 people in my CRM. And I just want to do a handful a day. I got so many people I got to go through. I don't have time to go through 600 people in one sitting because I'm busy. If I click this here, so people, my people, and I go to Category Wizard, this will allow me to go through anybody. So right here, I have 558 people that I need to identify if they should be in my pipeline or not. Okay. And again, if they're in the sales flow pipeline, they're going to give you tasks to remind you to follow up with them. So here, again, I can easily click, this is going to be a client. This is a potential buyer. This one is a client, but it is a past client. So I'm going to put them in marketing and go back to, he's actually a past seller and buyer, create plan. This one here, I'm going to do the same thing. So, and then I can click collaborator, personal, or I can even remove them from Engage if I wanted to. So take the time. If you have 600 contacts, it pulls up 6 at a time. Maybe do like 3 or 4 pages of these a day and then move on with everything. Take the time now to get it adjusted. So as you do that, you'll start having things that you're going to need to do to follow up with these people, which is going to be really cool. And that will be the next video, will be all around the sales flow, how to walk them through the sales flow, why you want to put them into the sales flow, and where you can go from there.